I enjoyed the military. I was in the military from 2002 till 2006. I was hurt in Iraq in 2004. I suffered a skull fracture. I broke this region of my skull, broke my temporal bone, the main artery, to my brain, and different things like that. I am very blessed to be standing here in front of you today to be able to speak to you and not only understand the words that I'm speaking, but hopefully you all will understand what I'm saying to you. It's a miracle that I'm standing here, but that comes with obligation, I believe, and that's to do more for those that have followed with me way before and way after. Mr. Walter, thank you for your service, sir. Thank you very much for your service. What does it mean to be a veteran? To me, it was natural. In 2001, when 9/11 happened, I was driving through the countryside. I had a small electrical business in McHenry, Illinois, where my family is from, and I was headed to a job site to do some electrical for the day, and I heard come over the radio. I'm sure all of us know where we were at and what we were doing on that day of 9/11. At that time, as a 19-year-old, 18-year-old boy, about to be 19, I knew that regardless of what I thought on the stance of the political side, it was where we were. It was where my brothers had gone. It was what we were doing as a country, and I knew I wanted to have part, so I did. In 2004, I was in a Humvee accident serving in Fallujah, and I don't know if anybody remembers what we were doing in Fallujah in 2004, but it wasn't a pretty sight over there. That's where I suffered my injury. I came back to the States. I was in recovery here in the States until 2006, in which I was retired out of the military. This is where I'm going to start to get to the meat of my message for you today. As veterans, what makes us special? What makes us special alone is nothing. We're nothing as a single entity until we decide to do something. I look down at Mr. Walter right here, and right next to Mr. Walter, nobody knows him, Denny Rice. Denny Rice, will you stand up really quick for a second? Stand up, Mr. Rice. All right. Mr. Rice was the first man that I worked for when I came back to the United States of America and was in recovery. I worked for him for 2 years when I was on the military side, and then I worked for him another 4 years after that up until 2011. Mr. Rice saw something in me. He saw somebody that was very confused. He saw somebody that had scattered. I had a brain injury, a head injury, which people don't recover from right away. The military looks at you as another piece of their equipment, essentially, and they try to get you to the next stage where it needs to be. It's just part of the process. And I don't hold that against them. Realize that. That's part of the business of our country and the way that it operates. Is it right? Not necessarily, but we signed up. We knew what we were signing up for when we did it. It takes each and every one of us to stand up for each other, to realize our weaknesses, to realize our strengths, to know where we need to help each other in order to stand up together, unified. That's what makes a vet special. Mr. Rice saw me when I came back to the United States and was struggling a little bit to get back up on my feet. And he took me under his wing and he said, you know what? You can either have diapers or you can get back on your feet. It's your choice. I'll buy the diapers or I'll give you the job. So we worked together for 2 years before I was retired out of the military, and he helped me come along greatly in my recovery to be able to get to where I'm at today, challenging me on a daily basis, from asking me to remember things to asking me to write them down, to me losing the books that I would write them down on. It was quite a struggle all the way through it. I got through that, and then somewhere in about 2009, Mr. Walter worked on me. He got on me, he said, hey Ben, what are you doing for school? I said, well, I was in the military, now I'm working on the civilian side with the government, doing some good things, it's working out. He said, yeah, but you don't have your degree. What are you doing without a degree? I said, well, you know, I've had this. He said, that's no excuse. Another veteran reaching out to me, just a sailor. I was a 24, 25, 26-year-old kid. Wasn't a high ranking, wasn't a captain, retired. Was none of that. He had no reason to go outside of his way. A retired captain from the U.S. Navy reached down to me and said, son, you need to get your butt in school. So guess what? That was 2009. 2010 came. 2011 came. 2 years Mr. Walter worked on me. and now I'm 6 months from graduating with honors from Charter College.